Imagine a future where your dinner plate features lab-grown burgers or a cricket flour-based dish. It's a vision heavily promoted as the solution to feeding a growing population while saving the planet. Both fake meat and bug farming are heralded as sustainable innovations poised to revolutionize food production. But beneath the flashy marketing lies a fundamental problem. These movements rely on a top-down approach that ignores consumer preferences and the practical realities of food systems. Despite their good intentions, fake meat and bug farming share common flaws that make them less effective, less appealing, and ultimately, less sustainable than their advocates claim. The fake meat and bug farming movements have a glaring blind spot. They're built on the assumption that people need to radically change their diets for the greater good. This perspective leads to solutions being imposed from the top down, rather than growing organically from consumer demand. The result? Resistance at nearly every turn. Most people don't want to give up their traditional staples like meat, eggs, and dairy. Fake meat and bug-based products suffer from a lack of consumer demand. While niche groups might embrace these alternatives, the majority of people gravitate toward the familiar: a juicy steak, scrambled eggs, or a comforting glass of milk. Food is deeply tied to culture and tradition, making radical shifts in eating habits far more challenging than advocates acknowledge. Even when consumers are willing to try these alternatives, they often find them lacking. Fake meat products, despite advancements, are still criticized for their unnatural texture or aftertaste. Bugs face an even greater hurdle, with many consumers rejecting them outright due to cultural or psychological aversion. Simply put, people don't want to eat what they don't find appealing, no matter how sustainable the pitch. Both movements also fail to align with practical food systems, introducing inefficiencies that undermine their claims of sustainability. Fake meat production relies on high-tech labs and processes that demand significant energy to replicate the taste and texture of real meat. Similarly, bug farming often depends on climate-controlled environments that require constant heating, cooling, and humidification, further increasing energy consumption. These industrialized methods result in complex supply chains, adding transportation, processing, and packaging costs that traditional farming systems often avoid. Unlike these alternatives, traditional livestock farming, especially pasture-raised and regenerative systems, works with nature, relying on simpler, more sustainable inputs. While the scalability of fake meat and bug farming is frequently touted, in practice, these systems struggle to meet global food demands. Bugs need specific conditions to thrive, and lab-grown meat requires expensive and sophisticated technology. In contrast, livestock farming has been refined over thousands of years, integrating seamlessly into global food systems and offering a proven model of food production. The environmental claims of fake meat and bug farming also deserve scrutiny. While both alternatives promise reduced land and water use, their reliance on energy-intensive production processes often offsets these benefits. For example, the electricity needed to power bug farms and lab-grown meat facilities can negate any gains from their reduced resource use. Moreover, these systems lack the ecosystem benefits provided by sustainable livestock farming. Regenerative livestock practices, such as rotational grazing, promote biodiversity, improve soil health, and sequester carbon, making them an essential part of combating climate change. In contrast, bug farms and fake meat factories operate in isolation from natural ecosystems, failing to contribute to the broader environmental balance. Even the byproducts of these systems highlight their limitations. Livestock farming produces manure, which can enrich soil and close nutrient cycles within a farm. Bug and fake meat production, however, generates waste that doesn't serve the same ecological purpose. At the core of these movements lies a disconnect between consumer preferences and industry-driven agendas. Fake meat and bug products are marketed as solutions to problems consumers aren't asking for. While addressing environmental concerns in food production is critical, the top-down approach of these industries overlooks the foods people actually want to eat. Consumers value real food, meat, eggs, dairy, that they've trusted for generations. These staples are culturally significant and nutritionally complete, making them difficult to replace. Rather than pushing for radical dietary changes, we should focus on improving traditional farming practices. Well-managed livestock systems, aligned with natural ecosystems, provide a holistic and sustainable approach to feeding the planet. Ultimately, the bug and fake meat movements represent well-meaning but flawed attempts to reinvent the food system. By disregarding consumer preferences, relying on energy-intensive production methods, and complicating food systems unnecessarily, these approaches are unlikely to achieve their lofty goals. Instead of imposing change from the top down, we should invest in refining traditional agriculture, particularly regenerative livestock practices, to create food systems that are practical, resilient, and aligned with what people actually want to eat. Sustainability isn't just about innovation. It's about building systems that work for people and the planet alike. Let's focus on solutions that respect both.